This is the video tutorial for the Happy Days Emily skirt. It comes in various sizes and this is how you make it. You'll need fabric for the skirt, elastic and a safety pin to thread the elastic. And this is how we make it. The Emily skirt comes in 3 sizes. Cut the template out to whichever size you require. Today I'm going to be making the 6 to 12 month skirt. For this pattern we'll be cutting on the fold. I've folded my fabric right sides together. I've placed my template on it and I've ensured that this edge is on the folded edge of my fabric, and I cut all the way around. I've cut all the way around and now I'm left with a nice long piece of fabric. Fold your fabric in half, right sides together. Make sure that all your edges line up, and then add some clips along this edge. I've added some clips all the way down this edge, and now I'm going to sew all along with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. I've sewn all along this edge, and as you can see I've also taken it over to my iron and I've pressed open the seam. Next we're going to work on the hem. So if you are using directional fabric, you've got to ensure that this is the bottom of your skirt. Next, turn your hem up 1 centimetre as I've done and press. Next, turn your hem up again by 3 centimetres and once again press. I'm now going to take it on my sewing machine and sew fairly close to the edge, all the way around on this side and then the other side as well. I'm sewing fairly close to the edge. I'm keeping the edge of my foot along the edge of the fabric as a guide. Take your time with this, it's a bit monotonous. I've sewn all the way around and that's your hem finished. Now we're going to be working on the top, on your waistband. As we did before, fold over 1 centimetre and press. I've turned the top of the waistband over by 1 centimetre and pressed. Now I'm going to fold over, but this time I'm going to do it by 4 centimetres and press. I've folded it over and pressed 4 centimetres. And as I did before on the hem, I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and sew it relatively close to this folded edge. Sew all the way around and around the other side. However, I'm leaving a gap here for threading the elastic. So where the seam is at the back, leave a gap. So don't sew where the gap is. We're now going to thread the elastic. I've attached my safety pin to one end of my elastic and I'm going to thread it through the gap I left. All the way around. I've joined the two pieces of elastic together, and now I'm going to carefully pull the skirt so the elastic goes all the way around. You'll find your elastic will go all the way around. Even up your gathers. Make sure that your elastic isn't twisted as you're doing this. We now are left with this gap, and to close this gap, pull your fabric so it's nice and flat and add a few pins either side of the gap. I've added a few pins across where the gap was, and now I'm going to carefully sew across, sealing up the gap, and I'm going to use this line of stitching and continue sewing all the way along. While I'm doing that, I've got to ensure that this elastic is well out of the way, because we don't want to be sewing on the elastic. I've sewn up the gap in the waistband, and that's your Emily skirt all finished.